Isn't the best light, is it? There, maybe that'll do something for us. Pete is here. He says, unloading a salt ship. Pictures for you. Oh, yeah? I don't know when. I don't know when YouTube's going to update their. This isn't really great lighting, is it? When they're going to update their chat where people can upload a picture into the chat. But I guess you're kind of inviting a lot of things to happen in that in that sense. Lee is here. How we doing, Lee? I know I started a half hour early, but I figured if I can be done by 8 o'clock or 8:15, that would be really good because I haven't eaten dinner yet. So Gears is in the house. How we doing? I don't like the way this light is working out here. That's better. Now we can see what's going on. Gene is here. How we doing, Gene? Oh, yeah, those are some pretty cool pictures. Tractor Hyatt's here. Gene's relaxing at home. Lee said he could have done without the snow. Well, it's that time of year. It's inevitable. Any more gears I don't want? I've got a pile of stuff here. I don't know what I've got exactly. I'd have to go through it, and it's kind of cold out right now. I don't feel like going out there and digging through a bunch of gears, but when it gets warmer, I'll start looking through them. But that's not going to be for a few months. So, but yeah, I've got a whole box of pinion gears from the D. This shirt? Yeah, I should start offering something like that. I was thinking about that on the drive home tonight. I should maybe look at something like Teespring or something like that to start selling some shirts, but just got a lot going on. You know, next year things might open up a little bit for me to start adventuring down that road. We'll see. But the hat thing, I don't know. I think that there was going to be an immediate plateau, and then once a lot of people bought hats, then, unless they need another one, we're really not going to sell any more hats because I don't have them advertised on the internet, really. I put them on my Facebook, but that's about it. So Pete 359, what's going on? Is there anything on the back of the shirt? Yeah, it's this Rusty Nuts Ranch logo. I suppose I could turn around. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of weird that I flipped around and showed everybody my butt. Watching salt falling, huh? Yeah, I got the photos that you sent. Not much going on around here. It's, cold in the garage, so we haven't done much of anything out there. I do have, if you look over on that table over there, wrong direction, right here, I've got a chainsaw that I'm cleaning the carburetor on, but as far as tractor stuff, not much going on. I did put a carburetor and a magneto together for that 1945 Farmall H that we got from our friend Nick. So, after the holiday here, I'm going to take the lights off of it, and then when we get a little bit warmer, I'm going to throw the magneto and the carburetor on it and see if we can get some life out of it, and then try and shift into some gears and see what we got for transmission. But what kind of snow are we expecting up here? Well, the storm is over. So we're lucky if we got about 4 inches where I'm at. And they said 5 to 7, I think, was the projection for my area, and we got about 4. So Timothy Allen says, finally got the nut off my great grandpa's steering wheel. One step closer, putting it on my 29 regular to make it his tractor. Nice. Always good to get. Is it grandpa's tractor or just the steering wheel? Square up on the carburetor. Just busy and got my daughter back. Hey, that's great news. That's good to hear, man. Really good to hear. About 6 here in the city south of me. Yeah, it's... Oh, well, I don't know what the weather is. I'll check my phone. Says we're at 9 and feels like 3. Just the steering wheel. Well, that's a piece of grandpa's tractor anyhow. Logan, free tractor bug must be going around. Kenny got a free H and I got what's left of an F20. That ain't bad. I was just talking to Brad Buffkin. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check his channel out. He's got a lot of pre-39 International Harvester stuff. But I was talking with him today, and he said that I needed to get another F20. And I said I'd consider it if it was a narrow tread, but what would be really awesome would be like a narrow tread regular, because they're quite hard to find. I wouldn't call them extremely valuable, but they're definitely hard to find. 17 in southeastern Wisconsin. Ryan is here. How are we doing, Ryan? Yeah, it's chilly. It's probably going to be, feels like below 0 overnight here. Haven't got any progress on the D. Still waiting to hear back on the front axle and the machine work on that. We did pick up the engine block for the Farmall M. The camshaft came back. That looks good. We got the call back from Crankshaft Supply in Minneapolis. Crankshaft is done. We had to go 30 thousandths under on the bearings because those scores were just that deep. So to get everything to clean up, we had to go 30 thousandths. So if this crankshaft has any more wear, it's going to have to be a different crankshaft because this one's at its limit. But once all that stuff comes back and we financially recover, we can order the rebuild kit. So that'll be good. Then it's just a matter of cleaning up some stuff. I got to take a look at the governor, make sure that's all okay. I'm guessing the weights in the spring the weights probably have some wear. The spring's probably, not in the best shape. I was also going to look at the magneto drive on the other side and check the bushings on that, go through the oil pump, check the shaft and the gears and everything on that. But I don't think this engine probably has a whole lot of hours on it. It might, but I don't. It's tough to say. It's a 47 block, and I only know that because of the casting date or the casting code with the date on it. So it could have been an engine that was put together in 45 that had the big bore kit in it, or it could have been overhauled again after the replacement engine was put in it. It's tough to say, but let's see. Tim says that's all that was left of his tractor when the farm sold and the scrap man came. Oh, man. Well, it's one piece that you can continue to live on with, you know. It's better than nothing. This past Monday, it was close to 80 degrees. Not here. I'm on a fairway regular. It's a regular that was modified to mold golf courses. Yeah, they have really wide, flat steel wheels on them, I believe, if I remember correctly. 35 is short and t-shirt weather. Yeah, pretty close. When it's 35 below and you experience 20 above, it's like tropical. Elk Mike says, good evening from Otsego. Been cool to see your collection growing. Yeah, it was, it grew for a number of years, and then some life change happened, and then we had to thin the collection quite a bit, and now we're building it back up again. But, right now it's just kind of, for me, it's about saving them. So I'll do, mechanical rebuilds and restorations on a few, but quite frankly, it's too costly to do it to all of them, and you're not going to get that money back out. I'm not looking to sell anything, but it comes down to if I had to, because you never know what life might throw at you. And these tractors is something I can save, bring back to life and enjoy doing that and saving a part of history. But at the same time, you have to be smart about it, and you can't, a person in my position can't restore everything to showroom condition because it's just not financially smart for me to do that. But if I can save stuff and then, turn around and 10 years from now, I have to sell something, at least those things are running and a good starter project for somebody else who does want to take it to that next level. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to use it at shows and use it around their place and, drag trees around with it, or pull a 2-bottom plow in their back acre or two just for fun. That's great too. The goal is to just keep these things living on. So I don't know how I got up onto that soapbox, but there I was. 52 in North Florida, 35 for a low. I remember when my dad drug a DT 436 engine home to put in the 1066. The motor supposedly had 19,000 hours on it. To say it had piston slap would be a major understatement. Yeah. Every time you crank the starter over, it gives you a round of applause. That's probably not good. Little Tractor Sheds here. How we doing? What's going on in the Little Tractor Sheds world? Not much around here. Just been trying to relax and take this last bit of this year and wind down and, recuperate my energy levels for next year. So I'm hoping we can at least start putting the short block for the M together before spring. I don't want to wait all the way till spring to start working on the engine again. But we've got little stuff we can fill with too, the oil pump and the governor and the magneto drive. So that's stuff we can go through while we're waiting in this bitter cold. January's on our doorstep, so it's going to get a lot colder. Running the tractors around, got to keep them healthy. Yeah. Catman's here. I'm doing good. How are you? What is the official tractor count in the barn? Oh boy, I'd have to write this down. We have, let's see if I can go from back to front. We have the 53 John Deere 60. We have the Relics Case SC. We have Rudy's Brass Tag John Deere B. We have Rudy's 1940A. We have Tony's John Deere GP. That's a 29 model. We have his 39 model BR John Deere. We have his 45 AR John Deere. We have Raylan's 1950 Farmall Cub. We have the Suicide Awareness Farmall H. We have the 44 Minneapolis ZTU. We have Mark's 38 Farmall F12. No, F14. We have Rudy's Alice Chalmers B. We have Rudy's 69 Ford F100 pickup. I hope somebody's keeping count because I can't. In behind the shed, we have Grandpa's Farmall M, and then in the garage, we have the 27 John Deere D. So, however many that is. Slowly getting my 806 back together. Got it all back on four wheels, and the motor wants to run, but something's wrong in the injection pump, and it won't build enough pressure. Well, I am not an injection pump whiz. I've never hardly ever worked on a diesel other than rebuilding the carburetor for an MD or 400 diesel. That's about it. Catman's good. Shop Time with Dave is here. Dave, I'm hoping we can test out that reverse gear and everything come springtime because we're still waiting on the front axle to come back from the machine shop for that. So until that gets back, we won't have a front end on the ground. So we can't do any driving. Do I want another SC? Mine's for sale. Nope, I don't. Hi, we have your RC in there. I don't even think, did I say that? I need to make a list. That's what I need to do. Why don't we write them down? Here we go. So, back to front. 1953 John Deere 60. 1941 Case SC. 1935 John Deere B. 1940 John Deere A. Then we have 1929 John Deere GP. Then we have 1938 Case RC. And we have the 1939 John Deere BR. 1945 John Deere BR. Matt's in the house. The Scrap Whisperer. What's going on, Matt? Oh, gosh. Where am I leaving off here? We have 1951, I think, or 1950. John Deere A. I think it's a 52. Then we have 1938 Farmall F14. We have 1942 Farmall H. 1938 Alice Chalmers B. 1944 Minneapolis ZTU. 1950 Farmall Cub. 1940 Farmall M. 1927 John Deere D. 1941 KSSC Center exhaust. Okay. Tractors Hyatt said I had 2 commercials pop on and I couldn't skip them. I wonder if I missed something in the settings. My mag arrived at Rudy's today like a Rufus. I didn't package it good enough, so the coil cap got crunched. Totally my fault. What kind of mag was it? Probably going to put another pump on it. We're trying to get it running before Christmas so we can surprise my great-grandma with it. She hasn't seen it since March 17th, 1974, the day it left the farm. Oh, wow, that's cool, man. Hope you can get it going. That's going to be an awesome surprise for Grandma. 1969 Ford F100. Wyco off an International 3-5 LB. Ooh. That stinks. Okay, so I think we got a count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 18 tractors and a pickup here. Whew. And how many of those are in the barn? 15 tractors and the pickup are in the barn. I don't mind watching the commercials as long as you get some money for the view. I think that's how it works. So yeah, there's 18 tractors and Rudy's pickup here. 15 tractors in the barn with Rudy's pickup. But only 2 tractors are sitting out and neither one of them run. Well, the M ran, it just needed a good go through. The 45H supposedly runs. I need a starter for it. Yeah, I need a starter for that. I'm going to hand crank it anyways. It's either that or I need to make a block off plate for the starter hole. Somewhere there's a picture of the brand new shiny 1466 getting backed off the dealer's truck and the 806 in the background waiting to be loaded up. That'd be a cool picture to find and frame it. Then you could put it next to, I don't know if you took a photo when you first got it back, but you could put it, do like a 3 series when it left the farm, when you got it back, and then after the restoration. That would be kind of cool. So the plan is to go until 8 o'clock or 8:15 at the latest because I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I got to cook dinner and get that in my belly. So, yep, yeah, I counted the D in the garage. So, yeah, 15 in the barn, 1 in the garage, and 2 in the yard. Plus the pickup for Rudy is in the barn. Pretty excited to drive that D. Be nice to get it rolling around under its own power again. Yeah. As far as stationary engines, we've got 2 International LBs in the shed. We have a little Maytag kicker in the shed. And then we have the John Deere E horse and a half that we're putting together at Rudy's. Hopefully we can get that done this winter. That'd be a nice winter filler project. Bryce says, do you got much snow up there? Not where I'm at. We got about 4 inches. Do I think Don Livingston would have a clutch for the 400? I think he got a good shot. I'd give him a call. If he doesn't have one, he'd probably know where to get one. Bryce is here. Bryce, how we doing? Come a long way on the D. I remember when you brought that home. Yeah, it's most people would have thrown it into a dumpster with the rest of the scrap iron, but we like a challenge, to say the least. That's like I'm a member of Squatch's channel, and seeing his behind the scenes videos, I'm telling you, if you aren't a member of Squatch's channel, pay the $5 a month. It's worth it because you get to see so much interesting stuff behind the scenes that he doesn't show on the main part of the channel. That X231, man, that's truly a testament of how resourceful and innovative and forward thinking his brain is. I'm trying to grasp that skill, but a lot of it is I don't have the tools to do it. So sometimes I think of it, but then I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? I don't have a welder. I don't have a lathe. I don't have a mill. I don't have, I'm pretty good with a bench grinder, but I'm not that good. We have a picture when it was new of the day it left for what we thought was good. One of it's sitting on the farm in Iowa, and then we'll take a pic of it all nice and shined up. That's a good plan. I approve. I had to pull the carburetor back off the D, though. I tried to start it. That wasn't too long ago. 3 weeks ago, maybe. Same time we got Mark's Farmall F14 running. I tried to start it, and Rudy was over. And we were working on his Alice B, and I tried to start it, and we couldn't get gas for some reason in the carburetor, and getting gas out of the line, it just wouldn't go into the carburetor. And it wouldn't fire even with priming the cylinders. So I don't know. It's really, really hard to pull over. So but the last time I tried when Brad Buffkin was here, I fired it up and it turned on like it fired on the second turn of the flywheel and kept running. I was just blown away. I wish I had the startup on video, but I have the videos of while we were watching it run, but I don't have those are on YouTube as shorts already, but I don't have a video of me actually starting it by hand. So I'm not an MM guy, but X231 is my favorite project of Squatch. Mine too. I liked the Swamp Angel just because he was all the details he had to. That's kind of where I learned my how to make it look patina. You know what I mean? I really like that he went through how he went and repainted, but made it look old and everything because I had to do the same thing with the D in a lot of areas. Machine tools would be nice to have, but space and money are the limiting factors. Yep. I suppose there isn't a book or manual on rebuilding a one-off prototype Minneapolis Moline that was supposed to be scrapped 60 years ago. Yeah, a little hard to find that. Do you plan to add a loft in your barn in the future, or would that take away from much-needed tractor space? I would like a loft. If not a loft, I'd really like to get pallet racking down one side so that we can put um, different parts and everything up on shelving, and we could even put some engines up on pallets on there. So I would really like to do that. Rodney is here. Grandpa's John Deere horse and a half engine that ran the milk separator is in the Palo Duro Museum. There's a display there of other equipment of the past. That's pretty cool. Haven't figured out what I have going on. My M runs for 30 seconds, then dies. Been through the carb twice. Do you have good fuel flow? I would check your fuel flow. Does the float have a leak? Is it a new float? Did you reuse the old float and make sure that's not leaking? Is the fuel tank cap, is the vent on that plugged where it creates a vacuum in the tank and won't allow the fuel to come out? Those are just some things to check. If none of those are it, then I would say the coil or condenser in the magneto or the distributor. We are redoing my 45 John Deere B and it's board 125 over. It will be a hard pill, I think. Yeah, it's going to be tougher. Ryan's looking for full steel for a Farm All H. I've seen some on Marketplace. You just got to keep checking it. New fuel line. Starting to wonder if something's floating in the tank. It could be. If your sediment bowl, if the inlet inside the tank is plugged, with rust particles or dirt or whatever, it's got to be something to do with fuel delivery. It's running on whatever's in the carburetor, and then that's it. And sometimes the valve in the sediment bowl even gets a bunch of crap inside that. So check that too. If you're quick with your hands, you can unthread the sediment bowl and then quick put a pipe plug in there just to keep the fuel from coming out. But you got to be quick, and it's going to be messy. Or siphon most of it out that you can get out, Little hit and miss is a good engine to mess around with, but people seem to think they're worth way more than they are. Well, they're worth whatever they're worth to whoever is willing to pay it, right? That's how I look at it. Crazy Dave is here. How we doing, Dave? It's been a while. How you been? Oh, I was thinking about you the other day. I got to check here before I say anything. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. I was thinking about you, but I just had to double check. I was thinking I didn't have your number, but I was like, I remember texting him not long ago. So that I looked to my phone just now, and I do. We have each other's. I have your contact information. Yeah, how's the Hyder coming along, Dave? I'm on the hunt for new front rims for my H. Someone before me bent the crap out of them. Matt, you can check lots of salvage yards. Beaver's Tractor Salvage, um, Gottwald's up in Hillman, Minnesota. You should be able to find those. They're dime a dozen. Haven't touched it since September. I know the feeling. If your tank is dirty, shake it, take it off, and fill it with diesel and shake it. Yeah, the unfortunate part with an M, I think the H is the same way, but I know an M for sure has a baffle in it. And I usually, like tanks without baffles, I'll usually lift one wheel of a tractor and strap it to the wheel of the tractor. Then I throw a bunch of nuts and bolts and random stuff in there to tumble. And you can even use blasting media if you want, but I really shy away from using blasting media because how are you going to get it all out of there? That's the biggest problem. But I use nuts and bolts and all different sizes of just random stuff. Not too big because you don't want to put dents all over in it, but let it tumble for an hour one way and then turn the tank and tumble it another way for an hour or two. And, I've had really good luck doing that. You look inside and everything is as clean as you can get as far as the metal goes. And whatever particles that were in there are so pulverized that when you rinse out the tank, it's gone. So one thing that I do though, before I before I tumble it is I'll let the tank dry for a week or two, let everything in there evaporate, and then I'll go in and vacuum with a shop vac everything that I can before I even tumble anything. Let's see. Got distracted as the seasons change. Yeah. Forgot to plug in our loader tractor, so starting the old Oliver 1800 was a little hard yesterday. No functioning glow plugs, no intake heater, just a can of ether and a hope and a prayer. Yep. There's a YouTube channel called Zip Ties and Bias Plies. A lot of you guys have probably seen it, but that guy, he'll pour cans of ether into an engine before it's even warmed up. It's kind of funny, but Shop Dave needs a blue wrench. Got it covered. Nate Darcy's here. How we doing, Nate? Rodney says, I have a bucket of square nuts to clean tanks with. That works great because square nuts have a sharp point. So as they tumble, they chip away at stuff. In a poor decision, somebody decided to tell me to use like wood screws and stuff because the sharp points. Well, that's great. But if you're doing a bigger tank, those screws fall a long ways a lot of the time, and they'll actually puncture holes through the thin areas of the tank if there's any thin spots. So you got to be really careful using screws. But square nuts and square bolts, that's a good point. Two or 3 foot pieces of 1/4 inch or 5/16 chain works really well, easy to pull out. Hey, I never thought of that, but that would work good. Move the case D out of the garage, put the WD-45 in for hopefully a quick repair, but I'm torn on whether to put Co-op E3 in or Cletrac E62 in next for full restow. Well, the E62 is a crawler. So that's probably going to take a lot more time. So if you want your shop right away in the spring, I would say go with the co-op. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Thanks, Matt. You don't need to worry about the pistons drying out. Yep, that's something from Zip Ties and Bias Plies. I love how he calls ether canned consent and a date in a can. I'm good, Nate. Thanks for asking. I have buckets of square bolts and nuts for when I work on horse implements. Good plan. It cleans the nuts too as they tumble. Small lengths of chain. Ether is summer air. Yeah. I do like watching Vice Grip Garage too. He's got a lot of fun sayings like he calls spark plug wires lightning hoses, and a distributor is a lightning whirler. Carburetors a fuel make it happener. Electronic fuel pumps are clicky clackies. Shift juice and ice cube juice. Ironman 3406 just did a walk around on a Cockshut 90. That's a little bit bigger tractor. My 400 was supposed to be a diesel. It says on the tag 401, but the engine's a gas. Somebody probably swapped the engine. 400 diesels are a lot harder to come by than a 400 gas engine, so they probably just threw a gas engine and a gas hood on it. I like all the Derek-isms. Me too. Vice Grip calls beer wobble pops. Yeah. Barley pop. You can call it Dad's root beer, even though that's a real thing. But any of your neighbors comment on the spectacular tractor and Christmas lights in your front yard? No. Everybody around here, they're all kind of hermits in the wintertime unless one of us is shoveling out the driveway when the next guy is. Other than that, it's pretty much house, car, work, car, house. When we got it from there, it was a diesel. Where we got it from, there was a diesel on right across the road. Vice Grip was actually from Minnesota. He lived in Coon Rapids, and his big shop was in Osceola. Yes, that's correct. And Coon Rapids is where I graduated high school from. Little known fact. So he started in my hometown. Yeah, he lives in Tennessee now, but he had a shop in Wisconsin for a while, and then he had some land, I think, in North Dakota. He had bought a bunch of land in North Dakota, and I believe his family farmed in either North Dakota or Montana, something like that. But he had a bunch of land, and I want to say it was North Dakota too. I don't know if he still got that or if they sold that and then moved to Tennessee with the money from, their house and then the land. And I don't know. I don't know the guy, but I do like his channel. His boys also have a channel called Little Grip Garage, and he has a sister channel called Vice Grip Lodge, and he does more home projects and stuff on Vice Grip Lodge. And then his kids do all kinds of stuff with, ATVs, dirt bikes, stuff that a lot of kids are into, but they show how they work on stuff themselves too. which is really cool. So if you're not familiar with those channels, I'd check them out because they're really cool. And I like that his channel is kid friendly too, kind of like mine. I've some of my early videos from way back before YouTube ever became a thing for me, really. That was just me being young and screwing around. But when I started really getting serious about making tractor content, that's where I've kept my focus. Tractor or what's going on around the homestead type stuff, little projects I do. But I still need to do a video on the playhouse that I built my daughter. And I didn't make plans for that. I didn't draw anything up. I just did it out of my head. So Crazy Dave says he's run into him at car shows before. Oh yeah, I've seen him from way back. I've seen him in downtown Anoka at that car show and all that stuff. But Nick, I just missed you at Le Sueur this last year. We were up there. Yeah, we weren't there real long. We went there, got what we needed, and pretty much left. So I don't even remember what day we went. Friday or Sunday. We didn't go on Saturday, I don't think, but the weather was not great when we were there. Either someone wanted a gas 400 and the dealer swapped the motor, or someone roached the original diesel and couldn't get parts for it, so they swapped it to a gas. That would be my guess. Derek grew up on a farm in one of the Dakotas, and he goes back there to record videos sometimes. Yeah, I know he's still got a bunch of vehicles parked up there, but I think they bombed the old diesel and they had a parts tractor because, if I remember correctly, the engine's a 55. That could be. Either way, the engine was replaced at some point. It was swapped. I wouldn't have guessed that on my grandpa's M, but it was. So sorry, I'm checking something here on my phone. Double duty. Okay. Am I a member of Now Then too? Heard they have a pull again, but with a different vendor. Yeah, I heard that. I actually know somebody that's on the board there. So I think they had a little bit of a changing of the guard these last couple months. Sorry, I'm cleaning off there's a big splotch underneath the camera. But I think the pole is back on, so that's good. I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but this last year didn't bode very well without a pole, because that's a big draw for a lot of attendance. After 3:00, that place on Friday and Saturday was pretty much a ghost town, which on Saturday, like, it's busy until 10:00 at night because the beer garden's going. People are watching the tractor pulls. They're eating at the vendors, the food vendors, and walking around the tractors in the evening and stuff, looking at them. And it's a little bit cooler in the evening, so people can enjoy it a little bit better. So it really hurt the attendance, I think, this year not having a pull. And they came up with a whole bunch of other, and I'm not bad talking the NHPA. I love Now Then. It's been my home show since I was 11 or 12 years old. So 1997 was my first threshing show, and it was at Now Then. So I just think that things are changing in more restrictive ways, and I don't really care for that. That's one of the biggest reasons I don't bring tractors to Almalin, because it's a park and sit show. Almaland is 80% focused on the tractor pull, and I get it. It's because, well, the tractor pull and the swap meet. I get it. It's because that's what the draw is. That's what brings in the big money. So I understand it. But you got 400 tractors registered for show, and they're just sitting there. They're not demonstrating anything. They have the sawmill, but that's about it. So they have a little threshing area and the sawmill. But what else is there to see? I like going to shows where I can watch plowing and um, different types of belt implements, stuff you can actually drive the tractors around and kind of just putt around on them. Like if somebody wants to learn how to drive something, they can take it and drive it, and you can teach people about how they operate, and that's how you get people into this stuff, is getting them on it and driving it and enjoying the experience and appreciating what our ancestors had to do to get us where we are today. Dad's M got a brand new block in 63. Everything else was original. Yeah, I don't know when this engine was changed out, but it wasn't when my grandpa had it. And he got it probably around 1985, 86, somewhere in there, 88, mid to late 80s. Anybody know what the feature is up there for 2025? For now, then, the feature. What is the feature next year? Minneapolis Moline. It's featuring Minnesota-made tractors and engines. So Minneapolis Moline, Twin City Tractor, Pioneer, Minneapolis Threshing Machine Company, or Minnesota Threshing Machine Company. Am I going to make the Lakehead Harvest Show this year? I don't know. I got to look at what weekend it is. I'd like to, because I really like that show. It's a neat little show. It just all depends on, time with my daughter and vacation time and the weekend that the show is, and everything. So insurance restrictions really hamper polls. Yeah, I understand that, but we can't put too many restrictions on stuff. I'm thinking on an insurance mindset here. We need to start reintroducing some common sense into the general public. People need to keep an eye on their kids. Number one, they can't just be running all over. That's a big part of it. I think people need to be mindful where they are when they're using their cell phones. I think too many times people are I don't want to say the person is ignorant, but they're ignoring what's going on around them. They're not being aware because they're too focused on taking pictures or videos, or they're talking on the phone and they're not paying attention to anything. So I think that's another part of it. And everything now, everybody's looking to make $1 off of anything. So if they can create a lawsuit, that's a problem. Yeah, it was good seeing you, Hyatt. It was awesome. I don't know what your plans are for next year. If you want to go to, if you're coming up this way and you want to go to Rolog next year, or if you're going to do the Now Then trip again. But I think, if I remember correctly, I think by that time next year you might be retired, so your schedule might be wide open. I don't know. You should go to the Rock River Threshery in Janesville, Wisconsin. I would love to go to that. I'd also love to do Baraboo. I'd also love to do Albert City is featuring Case this next year, and the Case 150 is going to be there. That's where the John Deere Super Show was last year. So Squatch 253 should be there. I'm sure he'll be there. That's where the Caterpillar Club building is, I think, is at Now Then. So he'll be there. LeSueur, Butterfield, and Almaland all feature Case in 2025. Okay, well, that means I might have to bring my Case SC to LeSueur. I wonder who's featuring John Deere. Free range kids and dogs are a problem at polls. Yeah, I can see that. Leave the phone in the truck. How are traffic safety placards attached to the back of a tractor? I usually just make a quick bracket, and that's how I mount mine on there. I'm for back when the phone hung on the wall in the house. Yeah. Went to Baraboo when they featured endless tracks. Take my phone to take pictures, but leave it in Do Not Disturb. Want to call me? Leave a message. Yeah, tractors are more important. I don't have time to be bothered. Under Minnesota law, a provider of agritourism activities is not liable for injury, damage, or death of a participant resulting from an inherent risk of agritourism. So what's the problem? Participants assume the inherent risks of agritourism activities. Minnesota Statute 604A.40 back in 2016. Should put that on the... Never mind, I'm not going to say it. Speaking of polls, there's a great little show in Weldon, Arizona on January 17th and 18th. Lots of tractors and engines for a small Arizona show. Good swap meet, too. How far is Weldon from... Let me see here. Don't tell me. About 2 hours and 20 minutes from Phoenix. So my girlfriend, her parents have a place near Phoenix, I think. So that might be a possibility, not this year, but someday. Everyone have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. They want me to go to work. All right, Pete. Ryan. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming. It's good to talk to you. Glad to hear about that situation improving, too. That's awesome. Our local show is Massey. I don't think it'll be a good turnout. It all depends on, what you have in the area. Can we take most of the safety stickers off stuff and just let the idiots give themselves Darwin Awards? Yeah, that'd be one way to handle it. It's right on I-8, a little east of Yuma. Okay. Any chance of making spring plow day? Well, here's the thing about spring plow day. I also have a side job that I do docks and lifts for a cabin association in northwest Minnesota. And that job depends on when the ice goes off the lake. So if the ice is off the lake the weekend of plow day, that eats up my Saturday putting in docks and lifts. So that's kind of the short answer. If it doesn't interfere with doing docks and lifts, I'm going to try my hardest to be there because I need to go. And it would be really cool if I had the D done, but I don't know how well the D would do pulling a plow with the rubber tire treads on bolted to the wheels. I don't know if it would rip the tire treads off of it or if it would actually do it. Matt, you keep puzzling me with these town names. I thought there were only 23 towns in Arizona. Florida Flywheelers Show, February 19th to 22nd, 2025. Massey Harrison Ferguson feature. Well, maybe Pete will bring his Massey Harris down and your RC, and then he can bring the Massey Harris and the John Deere M back. I'm hoping to go again. It's a good time with good friends. Yeah, I'd love to go. I mean, I'd like to get that tractor. The John Deere D really would need to be hooked up to a plow so we can wear the engine in and check everything over and make sure it's all operating the way it's supposed to. I think if we get the Minneapolis Moline running good, that would be a good one to bring. The H, obviously, the Suicide H. But you kind of have to be picky as to which ones you want to bring, because I only have a truck, and then Rudy has his trailer here. That only fits one tractor. So if I had the choice to bring a tractor, it would be the D. Plus, there's hardly ever any John Deeres up there at those plow days. So somebody needs to go wake up the deer in that neck of the woods. We hope to make it to Now Then at a minimum this summer, but I also want to see Rolog and Beaver's Tractor Salvage. Oh, Cody brought the A last fall. That's right. I forgot. Okay, we're going to go till 8:15, and then I'm going to call her an evening because I still have to eat dinner. But as far as what's going on around here, for those that didn't hear it at the beginning of the live stream, we have all the parts back from the machine shops except for the crankshaft, but that is done. We just need to go pick it up. So that is all done for the M. And the we can't order our parts yet for the M for the rebuild because I need to replenish my financial accounts. But the front axle for the D we're still waiting on. It hasn't come back from machining yet. I put a magneto and a carburetor together for the 45 Farmall H. We just got from our friend Nick for free. That's about it. Everything in the barn has been put up and put away, so I hate putting docks in. We used to do it with the Ford Ranger until Dad brought a John Deere 3038E compact, and it became very easy to put the back in at my grandparents' place. Yeah, that would be helpful. We use a telehandler. We just lift them up as a whole unit and put them in the water. So our show for 2025 Memorial Day is featuring muscle tractors. Do the John Deere guys still plow in May and Motley? I have no idea. I'm out then. Have a great night, all. I need to put my girl to bed. All right, Matt. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. As Rick Bork would say, appreciate you. Oh, Ricky. Tim just got here. How you doing, Tim? Got to get on Mark for not showing up. It's all right. Can't make everything. Just scrolling back through the chat to make sure everybody's. Oh, Mark is here. Antique Outboards. That's his channel. What about muscle combines like the Oliver 7800 with a 383 big block Chrysler V8 and factory dual straight pipes? Whoa. Sounds like it belongs on a track somewhere. About another 10 minutes and we're going to knock off here. Bryce, you take care now. We'll see you later. I think Mark is still thinking about selling his F-14, so if anybody's interested in one of those, sitting in the barn. Used to go to the Combine Destruction Derby up in Lind, Washington every summer. Talk about crazy. Yeah, I can believe it. Dave's hitting the hay. All right, we'll see you later, Dave. Thanks for stopping by. And for those who weren't here earlier, when we did a head count, we added it up and we have currently there are 18 tractors and a pickup here. Farm equipment from the 60s and 70s was wild. The horsepower race really picked up when they discovered the crowning jewel that is a turbo and then really started making power. Yeah. That's kind of where the generation is now. These old antiques, not a lot of the young kids want them unless their grandpa or great grandpa had one, but everybody wants anything that can roll coal. That's kind of the big thing now. Turn up the pumps and see how much black smoke they can get out of the exhaust stack, which is fine, but we had a 510 Massey combine with a Chevy 327. Nothing but a rolling fire hazard. I have a salt and pepper beard. You have a salt and paprika. I'll take that. It's only coming in. This side here is reverse camera is really messing with me. If I go right, they go left. Okay, so right. Yep. This one here, that one really grew in. This side, not so much. It's starting, but would love to have it, but it's winter and insufficient funds. Well, as long as the credit card machine doesn't say that, then you're still sitting with your head above the water. I have a buddy with a Farmall Super C retrofitted with a 2.6 Chevy V6, straight headers, and it sounds great. Must have made some type of adapter plate for the engine to bolt to. I love my Case RC, but ever since driving Rudy's brass tag John Deere B, I've been stuck on Bs. I told you, Hyatt. I told you, it's an illness. It's a real thing. There's a 36 short frame John Deere B here. It's not a brass tag, but it's a short frame B. The guy just reduced the price to $1,200. Gas combine with no spark arrestor and a cornfield. How long is it going to take? I could get you 20 at the ranch, a screaming deal. And no, my pocketbook's closed for bringing anything home. Justin, how we doing? I'm going to go about another 4 minutes here. I know I started a half hour early, but I just want to get some dinner in me. So, what's going on, Justin? It's not too bad. It's not the heat, it's the humidity that'll get you. Oh, and I have two back-to-back 16-hour work days tomorrow and Sunday, so I want to try and get a little bit of sleep, but I have the cure for a bee disease. Lean over the tracks of a Lindemann crawler and spin the flywheel to start it. That'll cure you. Yeah, not an easy tractor to start. The Lindemann, anyway. Is Ray getting excited about Christmas? Oh, yes. She is very, very much excited. Would like a 450 Farmall with a 4BT Cummins. That would be cool. Kevin, how you doing? Apparently, a spark arrestor was a factory option for an H or M. Looks like it went on the exhaust pipe and then a muffler bolted to it. Yep, I haven't seen one in person, but I've seen pictures of them. My dad had a Lindemann. I had real guns when I was a teenager starting that thing. I can believe it. Andy Fromm has a 4BT in his Farmall if you've seen his channel. Yes, and he's from Minnesota. I saw his 4BT Farmall M at Le Sueur, I want to say. Very nice job. Wouldn't be something that I would be opposed to having. There's also a guy on Facebook that has a 7.3 liter IDI International diesel in a Farmall Super M, I believe, or a regular M. Maybe it's a regular M. But that was, he had to make custom frame rails and everything for that. But it was a very cool job. Could also get a seat with a back on it for a Farmall M. Yep, I've seen that too. Not in person, but I've seen it in different advertisements. Dave, good to see you. Take care. I'm signing off in a minute, so there's a guy on Facebook who put an inline 6 International diesel in an M that looks factory. Yeah, I saw that too. I think it's a 560 diesel. All right, well, I hope everybody can say their goodbyes a little bit, and I don't want to cut it short, but I am hungry and I want to get some rest before my 36 hours of work in the next 2 days. Local shop put a 671 Detroit in an M. Ooh, that's a big one. Hope everybody has a great Christmas and holiday season. I'm going to try and get a video out here before Christmas. I'd like to get one out. The next 2 days are shot for me doing any videoing, though. I won't. It's just going to be work and sleep for me. So we'll get something out there. Talk to everybody later. Thanks for coming in. Tim, Little Tractor Shed, Tractor Hyatt, Matt, Lee, Justin, Crazy Dave, Logan. Good to see everybody, and you guys have a great end of the year. Take care, guys.